Hey everybody, I'm Brandon Lawrence here in the Local 5 studio, just finishing our setup here as we get ready to give you the latest information on the winter storm that is coming our way, that is more or less here. It hasn't fully started yet, but the conditions and the impacts will begin in just a matter of hours. So I want to start immediately with the biggest, newest news right now, and that is that we've got a blizzard warning that has been issued for the Des Moines Metro, all areas along I-80 and areas of northern and northeastern Iowa. So this will begin at noon tomorrow and it will go until 6 a.m. on Saturday, on Christmas Eve. So this was a new update that came from the National Weather Service about a half hour ago. This is the area that was previously under a winter storm warning and has now been upgraded. Now keep in mind, snow will still begin today. The blizzard conditions, though, are expected to start tomorrow. Southern Iowa is still under a winter storm warning. That includes areas south of I-80, the southeast part of the state, and the western part of the state. So to reiterate, to give you this newest information, what has just come out from the National Weather Service is a blizzard warning. That is for the Des Moines Metro, and that also includes all these areas highlighted in red. So other major Iowa cities, including Cedar Rapids, Dubuque, Waterloo, Mason City, Fort Dodge, Ames, Carroll, all included in that blizzard warning. Now, Northwest Iowa is also included in the winter weather threats. They are under a winter weather advisory right now. They will still get the wind and they will still have some of those whiteout conditions possible tomorrow, but they're just not going to get quite as much snow as what the rest of us will see. And I've said this for a couple of days. Our entire team has been stressing this point. This is not about how much snow we receive. It's about the wind, the visibility, and the dangerous travel conditions and the frigid, the bitter cold that will be coming in as well. I do want to let you know what a blizzard is, first of all, because that term gets thrown around and tossed around a lot. We do have to have snow. It just doesn't have to be a certain amount of snow. We've got to have wind gusts of 35 miles per hour or greater and visibility less than a quarter of a mile, and that has to last for 3 hours or more. Now, even though we don't have that right now, the National Weather Service deciding that the criteria that we need for a blizzard will likely be met during the day tomorrow and again on Friday based on the model data that we have, based on what we're seeing when it comes to the wind, what we're seeing when it comes to the visibility, what we're seeing when it comes to the actual snowfall as well. So again, blizzard warning is all about the visibility and the wind. Here's what I'm thinking. A level 2 threat on our threat tracker as snow arrives this afternoon. It is already starting in western Iowa, which I'll show you a little bit later. Thursday, tomorrow, I have it a level 4. With the upgrade to the blizzard warning, I could make an argument to put that up to a level 5. We're talking about dangerous conditions. This will be early snow in the morning wrapping up. The accumulating snow will end very early, but the very strong wind and the dangerous cold arrive tomorrow, and we will see that again during the day on Friday. Friday could probably be a 4. And those 2 days is when we have the greatest threat for those blizzard conditions, the very low visibility, and of course the whiteout conditions. Blizzard and whiteout, those two terms can be sort of used interchangeably. At about lunchtime today, we expect this snow to get underway, and I realize it's 12:08 now and this says 12 o'clock. So we are expecting to see this snow filling in over the next several hours. It already has started, and I'll show you the radar here soon. By 3 o'clock this afternoon, this snow is spreading into central Iowa. Now this is regular snow that could be moderate to heavy at times, but we will not have the wind just yet. It's going to be the snow only at this time, but it will impact travel starting this afternoon, and it will continue to do so through the early evening. I've got it paused again here at 6 p.m. This is the evening rush today. We will see snow, and this will continue through the night. Now keep in mind, when this initially begins, it may fall heavily at first, but sometimes there's a bit of a delay in the accumulation, when it accumulates and how long it takes to do that. So we may not see all of that accumulation until later on tonight. By 10 o'clock this evening, we still have pretty widespread snow. It's now moving into eastern Iowa at that time. This is the big wave of snow, and then there will be one additional wave that comes through overnight and into early tomorrow morning. I have it paused around 4 a.m. tomorrow. We will see a little more snow over eastern, central, and southern Iowa, and then the accumulating snow actually comes to an end. We will see a lot of cloud cover, but the big threat during the day Thursday is the intense wind and the low visibility. We call it a ground blizzard, which means we will have a lot of blowing snow, especially in rural areas. And I'm telling you, you can't be out on the roads because you will not be able to see anything, and the wind will continue to blow that snow over the road. So even if the plow crews get out there and clear, which I know they will be, they'll be working hard, the wind is going to blow it right back on top. This is a lighter, fluffier snow, and the wind is really going to cause us a big headache. On Friday, the wind could be even stronger. We're still dealing with the bitter wind chills, and we will again have those ground blizzard type conditions. Here is about how much snow we are expecting to see. This is the statewide view. About 3 to 6 inches over central Iowa. We are expecting lower totals in southern Iowa, in western Iowa, and the highest totals north and east of Des Moines. For Metro Des Moines, I think we will get 2-4 inches or a little bit higher, but I think we will cap out right around that ½ foot mark. I don't know that we will get above that. So when you look at this map, you may think to yourself, that's not the biggest snowstorm we've had at all, and it's not. But it is the wind that will create big problems for us, and I can't stress that enough. So Ames, Des Moines, probably a little more than 4 inches. Even Fort Dodge may see that as well. The lower totals farther to the west and to the south. Here's a more zoomed in view. Remember, all of this snow accumulation happens before 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. We could see some higher totals near Marshalltown, Tama, Iowa Falls, and then lower totals again farther to the south. Still several inches there, just not the ½ foot that we could see in a few areas. But keep this in mind as well. I have a little caveat here. The overnight winds and drifting, which we will see when the wind kicks in, could skew these amounts. So it is going to be incredibly difficult to get accurate measurements of the snow because as soon as the wind kicks in, it'll blow it all around. So we may have some really high drifts, but what may actually be in flat areas may not seem like all that much. Now here's the radar right now, which I promised we would get to. We do have snow in northern Iowa, in northwestern Iowa, and it's beginning to develop near the Iowa-Nebraska border as well. We've had some lighter snow showers and flurries over Metro Des Moines, but it's not the heavier snow just yet. This is really not all that heavy in northwest Iowa either, but it is enough that we're starting to see minor accumulations in that area. We're looking at Highway 20, including Ida Grove, Sac County, Calhoun County, the northwest corner seeing flakes. It also stretches up through Algona, Buena Vista County, and over towards Lamars. So here's the road conditions map right now. Most of the state is still in the green, but we do have some of those partially covered roadways north and west of Des Moines, and there is a good area there in the northwest part of the state that is starting to see snow on the roads. So it's only a matter of time before we see these road conditions deteriorate more. And just to give you a sampling of what may be coming our way with the snow, in South Dakota and Minnesota, the roads are already in much poorer shape. They're in worse condition because we've got almost every road in South Dakota and much of western and central Minnesota being reported as partially or completely covered, including the Twin Cities area. So that is all moving our way. So is the cold air, which is like the other part of this that we haven't even talked about. At 11 o'clock tonight, the wind chill will actually be about 9 above zero. I know that's nothing to get excited over, but it will be a little bit better than where it is right now. But there's a strong front that's going to swing through right around midnight, and it's got some very bitter air behind it. Wind chill by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning will be about 25 below zero. That's Thursday morning. By 11 a.m. Thursday, the wind chill will be about 30 below zero. and it will just continue to tumble throughout the day. Here's the map. At 12 a.m. tonight, I think the wind chill will have already dropped to 0 in Des Moines, but it'll be about -17 in Carroll and Fort Dodge, -27 in Spencer and Sioux City. And that brutal air takes over the entire state by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. This is the kind of wind chill where hypothermia and frostbite can settle in very quickly if you're not taking care of yourself outside. Wind chill will be between 25 and 35 below zero. It could be as low as 40 below in Sioux City, and those wind chills will stay with us all day on Thursday. 30 to 35 below across the state, and we will see the worst wind chills, I believe, by early Friday morning, because the temperatures on Friday morning will be at their coldest, but we will also have the strongest winds at that time. So the wind chill will likely be between 30 and 35 below zero, and it will improve just a smidge on Friday afternoon. I don't think you'll notice a difference because the wind chill will be about 25 to 30 below, which is why we've been stressing and writing home for several days that we want you to avoid traveling on Thursday and Friday, because even if you think you can navigate the roads, this brutal cold, if you were to get stuck, this is where again frostbite or hypothermia settles in very quickly. The wind right now is pretty calm outside. We've got 5 to 15 mile per hour winds, most of that coming from the southeast, but the wind will intensify after midnight tonight. So follow me here. The majority of the accumulation happens before midnight tonight. There may be a little bit after midnight, but most of it falls before 12 a.m. Then the wind kicks in. This big front's going to swing in right at midnight. It'll be right over I-35. And gusts behind and along that front will be about 25 to 35 miles per hour. During the morning tomorrow, it's gusting about 30 to 35 in most of the state, but the strongest winds will actually arrive tomorrow in the second half of the day and then during the day on Friday as well. Gusts will be 35 to maybe near 40 miles per hour tomorrow afternoon and evening. On Friday morning, the gusts are between 35 and 45, and then the strongest winds actually could be Friday around lunchtime and into the afternoon, gusting at times from, say, I-35 to the east over 40 miles per hour. I would be willing to bet, not a betting man, but I would be willing to bet that we would see a gust of 50 miles per hour at some point in the state over the next couple of days. One other thing that may help tell the story for tonight is the dropping visibility here on Futurecast. It shows that later this afternoon and this evening around dinner time, that visibility will drop to about a half mile or 3/4 of a mile in the areas where the snow is falling. So it will, even though the wind won't be that bad, the snow could be moderate to heavy enough that it will be harder to see. The visibility could be about a mile through 8 o'clock tonight, and then around midnight we will start to see some improvements, but I really don't think they will be much. This model seems to think that the visibility magically improves. I don't think so, because the wind will kick in, and I imagine it will be tough to see for a while. There's a couple other things I want you to know about. I know we've been going for a little while here, that the road conditions, not just because of the wind, of the cold, of the snow, but even when the crews are out working, the colder that the temperature goes, the harder it is for the material they put down on the roads to actually be effective. So when our temperature outside is about 15 degrees, the brine takes longer to work. And then when the temperature drops to 0 or below, which is what we've been talking about for several days, the brine that they put on the roads, the crews, the state DOT, has little to no effect on our roadways. So they're going to be out there working very long hours to try to keep everything clear as much as possible. But I just think it may be a losing battle for a couple of days, especially on those rural roads. All right, I'll end with our 10-day forecast here and show you what to expect. Thursday and Friday is when we will see the biggest impacts, but keep in mind tonight the snow will be falling as well. Saturday, I do think travel will start to improve. The wind will subside, the sun will be coming out, and it will be plenty cold, but that's when things will start to get better. Sunday, we actually climb up to 15 degrees. That'll be late in the day, probably in the evening as another warm front comes in. But then there will be sort of an insult to injury type thing where one more round of possibly just some lighter snow comes in late Sunday night into Monday morning. Now, right now, I don't think that will pose any major problems for us. It's just going to be that on Monday morning, there could be a thin layer of snow on the roads again. By Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, temperatures finally warm up. we will be back in the 30s, and that will carry us all the way to New Year's Eve. So this is the bigger snowstorm right now. It'll certainly be the biggest thing we've had this winter so far. In my hope, it will be the biggest that we have all winter, but we'll see how that pans out. And let me check our Facebook page really quick to see if we had any questions that I can answer for you. Let's see. Cindy said, what will the winds be like on Saturday? They are going to calm down Saturday. They'll still be a little breezy in the morning, but I think the gusts Saturday will top out around 25 miles per hour in the morning, and then they will get lighter and lighter as the day goes on. Anna says, already snowing in northwest Iowa. Yeah, that's where it's beginning, and it will slowly push east throughout the day. Chris said, late arrival, can you recap metro challenges? So in the metro, as we said, blizzard warning begins at noon tomorrow and goes until 6 o'clock Saturday morning. Primary threat for the metro will be accumulating snow tonight, strong wind after midnight, and then that will continue all day tomorrow and all day Friday, and that will create what we think will be ground blizzard conditions where the visibility is very low and the road conditions are in bad shape, and then the dangerous cold as well. So wind chill right now is very cold. It's frigid outside. It's going to improve a little bit later this evening, but we're not going to get hysterical about it. And then by tomorrow, at this time, at lunchtime tomorrow, I think the wind chill will probably be close to minus 30 in the metros. So that was a lot of information. Brad's here, by the way.
Today is the first day of winter.
How about that? Mother Nature said, there you go. So yes, today, I haven't even talked about it because I haven't had any time. It's the winter solstice, which means that it's the shortest daylight hours. So we see, or we had a later sunrise.
On the calendar, first day of spring or winter.
Let's see. Chris said there seems to be confusions. EMA pushed out notifications saying blizzard warning already issued. So Chris, and for clarification, the blizzard warning has been issued. That is correct. It just hasn't started yet. That can get a little tricky sometimes. It's issued, it's out there, it's in the world, it just has not started. It will go until 6 a.m. on Saturday. But to be honest with you, I don't get caught up in the start times of all these different advisories and warnings because it gets really confusing. Just know when the impacts begin. The snow starts in Des Moines probably after 3 p.m. and then from there it goes downhill, and we probably won't see the improving conditions until Saturday. So it's going to be a long couple of days, and I think that's all the comments we had. Cindy said, when has it been this cold in Iowa in the month of December? I'm sure many times. I have not had a lot of time to dive into the specific numbers and the records, but I do know most of our records are well below zero at this time. So it's definitely helping. Oh.
Recent coldest Christmases, so you can read off that.
This is Christmas Day, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Christmas Day.
Okay, let's see.
Around that time of year.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so in 2017, the high on Christmas was only 14. I remember that. That was my first Christmas here. In 2012, the high was 13. In 2000, Christmas morning was 12 below zero. Yeah. In 96, it was 5 below zero, and in 83, it was 15 below on Christmas morning. I'm forecasting 10 below for Christmas morning, so it has happened before. It's not going to be a record, but it is not necessarily what everybody wants, right? So with that, to my digital team, I appreciate your efforts, and of course, our weather team will be here over the next several days, keeping you informed and updated. I'll throw the reins to Brad for the rest of the day now, and Dave will be here with him later, and then I will see you right back here tomorrow morning. We will be on starting at 5 a.m. covering this storm, and just so you're aware, for full transparency, I will practice what I preach. I'm staying nearby the station tonight, and I will not be on the roads overnight, just like we're telling everybody else to do. So with that being said, have a great day, stay safe, stay warm, and enjoy your Christmas.